Hunters, which is the new series. Give it up for the brilliant Mr. Sean Kelly!
Oh, that's a weird looking microphone. How you guys doing? All 20 of us. There's literally enough room for everybody to be in the front row. There's no reason why you should be come down here. I'm not going to bite you unless you want me to. Come down here. Come on, man. If you guys were at a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, you'd be in the front row throwing your panties at me. Which, by the way, I got to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers in Paris 2 weeks ago, and they were awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming down. Yeah, come down front. Don't be afraid. How you guys doing? All right, good.
I think it's a Friday. I don't think they've quite got the Friday feeling yet.
I know. You guys need to drink some more of that free Rockstar.
Yeah, they do have a good amount of free stuff. But speaking of good stuff, though, it's a
Yeah.
series of Celebrity Storage Hunters.
Yeah.
Dave. What's it kind of been like working with the British celebrities for you? Is there anybody that's kind of surprised you?
So have you guys seen this new series, Celebrity Storage Hunters? Raise your hands if you've seen Celebrity Storage Hunters. Oh, good. A lot of you have. So every Tuesday night, brand new series coming out. So far, 2 of them have aired. We got 3 more 1 hours, 41 British celebs. I had the time of my life. It was awesome. As an American coming to the UK, I didn't know a lot of these celebrities before I filmed with them. So I was meeting them for the first time when they came. And I think that what that did was it gave me an advantage. Instead of me treating them like celebrities, like, oh, you're a celebrity, right? To me, they were just bidders, you know? So I got to treat them like normal people, which I think was kind of cool. But then as you get to know them, you realize these are really cool people. Like I really hit it off with Johnny Vegas and there's 41 celebs that came on. There was some really cool people.
When the idea first came up of doing it, were you kind of surprised that, because the first time Celebrity Storage Hunter aired, it did really, really, really well.
Yeah.
Were you kind of surprised by that, or not surprised being on what you'd seen so far from the UK?
You mean how well Storage Hunters did?
Well, because when sometimes they do celebrity specials, they don't always work as well. Especially with a concept like something where it's a reality-based show where they're like that. They don't always work as well. And Storage Hunters could have not worked as well because they weren't auction-type people.
That's right.
And it really did work. I mean,
it did. You know, because the way it works is with the celebrities, we tell them that they're welcome to come on the show, but they have to give their profits to a charity. Unless they lose money, then they just lose money. The pilot that we did was the celebrity special last December. It was the highest rated thing in Dave's history. 3 million people watched that one episode. Wow. So for Dave, that's a lot of people. Yes, yeah, you get clapped for that. So then that's when they came back and they said, okay, we're going to make 5 more. So I'm hoping that everybody watches these 5 because they were fun to make, and I want to make more of them.
And that's, to have that kind of the highest thing on Dave ever as an accolade. That's amazing, especially when you consider the American networks stopped showing Storage Hunters and you come over to the UK and it's expanded its reach even more. It's grown again. Did you ever expect that would happen?
No, I didn't expect any of this. What happened was my wife and I were living in San Diego, and I was doing stand-up comedy at night, and I was doing auctions during the day. And I did a storage auction, and a fight broke out, and I was like, oh, this is Antiques Roadshow meets WWF. This is a TV show. So my very next auction, I filmed it, took that to LA, and that became Storage Hunters. But I never thought it was going to be it's in 138 countries. I never thought it would go worldwide. I never thought, you know what I mean? But it's cool that it has.
And for you, do you kind of find that it's still kind of one of those pinch me moments, because you've created a TV juggernaut, and not only did you create Storage Hunters, but the numerous spin-offs that came as a result of that.
Yeah.
In a sense, you did what is very unique to do for a creator. You created a whole genre in that effect.
Like a whole genre, yeah. Who would have known? You know what I mean? Who would have guessed? It was just that when I did the show, when I used to do the storage auctions, I used to think, oh, people would like this. This is cool. There's some other things that people aren't aware of, other things that exist. And so I'm trying to make some other shows. And when those shows come out, it'll be kind of like storage auctions where you're like, wow, this exists? There's some cool stuff out there. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm working on some other stuff.
That's very cryptic.
Yeah, very cryptic, but
very intriguing.
Yeah.
And for you then, I mean, throughout all the storage auctions you've done and the experiences you've had within that, has there ever been a moment that's made you go, oh my God? And do you get those still now, having done it for so long?
Oh yeah. Okay, so back in America, when I'm doing a storage auction, I'll sell between 60 and 100 units at one auction. It'll take me, I sell one unit every 2 to 3 minutes. So it's cut the lock, open the door, auction it off, cut the lock, open the door, take a look, auction it off, and we just keep going. One after, we line them up in a parking lot, sometimes 100, 120 of them. And on the TV show, we only have enough time to show 5, right? But when you're doing like 100 or 120 storage units in one day, it's crazy the stuff you find. And so every once in a while, we'll open the door and I'll be like, what is this? You know, sometimes it's crime scenes. Sometimes it's just weird collections, you know?
And how long then does that take to film? Because what we see is essentially half an hour to 45 minutes or an hour in some cases. That sounds like it's a lot.
It takes 14 hours. Wow. So one 30-minute episode is actually with commercials only 22 minutes long. That takes 14 hours to film. Wow. And then we edit it down to 22 minutes. So they only show you the best 5 units. They only show you like the big moments. They don't show you, 14-hour day.
No, that would be kind of a long, boring after a while. But has there been anything when you've ever looked at an episode back that you thought, hang on, where did that go? That was really good. Or is it?
Yeah, it happens because they have to sometimes they have to make a decision like what can fit into the show. So sometimes there's good things that get cut out and you're like, oh, what happened to that? But.
And you're quite, as well, I've noticed watching certainly the UK and US ones, you do get quite a bit devious and trickstery with them at the end of an auction to line it up. You'll make them say, oh, if you ride that, I'll pay you $10 or I'll knock off my fee and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you kind of, is that as improvised as it seems all the time?
Yeah. So, okay, I'll give you guys an example. I have a leather jacket. It's my favorite leather jacket. In a store, it probably costs about, 700-800 pounds. It's a beautiful leather jacket. So this lady buys a storage unit from me. It was about 2 years ago in California. And I see this leather jacket laying there, and I knew it was an expensive jacket. So I just gave her a cheeky bid. I'm like, after she bought the storage unit, I said, I'll give you $10 for that jacket. She goes, sold. And for $10, I walked out with this beautiful leather jacket. It was probably like 600-700 pound jacket, and it's my favorite jacket. So I just throw stuff out just to see if it'll work. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I just enjoy getting people to do stupid stuff. Yeah. So I'll try to I'll be like, hey, I'll waive my fee if you'll do this or if you'll do that, because I just like to see if I can get people to act like an idiot on camera.
And surprisingly, it works very well.
It does, yeah.
Especially even in the UK, you'll see quite a few people making fools of themselves, and it's very good.
Yeah.
And what has been for you the highlight of your Storage Hunters time, would you say, both in the UK and in the US? It's probably a hard question to ask, I imagine, because it's been so much. But
yeah, so I've made 137 episodes. Wow. And for me and for my wife, it's been amazing, the opportunity to come to the UK and travel and film. I filmed 57 episodes all around the UK now. Wow. I filmed 80 episodes back in America. I recently created a brand new TV show, a brand new format, and I sold it to Germany. I've told you about this in the past, but it's going to happen. It's going to be on RTL2. And so I'm going to be going to Germany, and I'm going to be presenting the show in German. And it's an auction show. Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren, ich heiße Sean Kelly und wir fangen heute an mit unserer Auktion. 25, jetzt 50, 100, 203, 304, 500, das ist eine Monkey. Sold your way.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Thanks. So as a kid, I grew up in Germany. My father worked for an American company. I went to German school. And then later, I worked for U.S. military intelligence as a German translator. So for me to go back to Germany all these years later and to present a TV show in Germany in German is like a dream come true. So it's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
And if you ever had the opportunity to kind of like take Storage Hunters to another country and do like almost like a special episode where it'd be like Storage Hunters does, I don't know, any country in the world.
Yeah.
Is there a particular country that you would just really love to do?
Well, I think it would be cool to go to Asia, you know, and I think it would be fun to go to Asia and like go to somewhere like Thailand and go to like old farms and stuff and dig through the barns and just see what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even my wife and I went to Crete this summer, and we met this really nice family that we were renting a flat from, and apparently the Nazis had occupied Crete during World War II, and when they kicked the Nazis out, they left a bunch of stuff behind. So old German motorcycles and bicycles and all this stuff. So this old Greek guy, he goes, because he likes Storage Hunters, because they watch Storage Hunters in Greece, he's like, I want to show you my collection of old German motorcycles and 10 speeds, or like old bicycles and stuff. So he took us, and I thought when he meant collection, I thought maybe he had like 3. No, he had like 50 of them, and they were really, really cool. So I thought, how cool would it be to go to places like Crete or, you know, around the world and just see what people have in their garages? It would be cool.
Sean Kelly's Hidden Treasures.
Hidden treasures.
So we're going to open up the questions to you guys. If you'd like to ask questions, there are 2 microphones that are dotted towards the middle area there. Just stand behind a microphone and then go ahead.
There's microphones and a spotlight, so you get to be in the spotlight on the microphone. Nice. Hey, man.
Let me just...
What's your name?
Jordan.
Jordan. Nice to meet you, Jordan.
My question is, obviously you say you do like 150 crates a day.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time where you've accidentally opened the wrong one, which isn't up for...
Yes. So Jordan's question, if you couldn't hear him, is, has there ever been a time when we opened the wrong storage unit? Yes. And I've also sold the stuff, and I've been sued. And since then, I've had to buy a big insurance policy in case I'm an idiot and I ever do it again. So yes, it does happen where when they give us the numbers of the storage units, where they've given us the wrong number and we cut the wrong lock. And once that stuff is sold, it's gone. So yeah, and that was a really pricey mistake. But it doesn't happen very often. Now I double check, triple check all the numbers. Yes, man. What's your name?
I'm James, and I'd like to ask, how many golf balls can you fit in your mouth?
Did you just say, I'm James, and I want to ask how many golf balls I can fit in my mouth? Yes. Well, James, I make it a habit not to try to shove balls in my mouth. But if I were to try to put, let's say, for example, you were to say, hey, for 100,000 pounds, how many could you fit in? I've got a big mouth, so I would figure at least 3.
Well, that's perfect.
He said that's perfect. That was weird.
One of the weirdest questions.
It was one of the weirdest ones I've ever gotten, yeah.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hey, man, what's up?
You obviously brought team money over, and Jesse came over. In a fight, do you think that Brandon and any of the UK contestants would mix well?
In a fight?
Well, which one would win? Because I think that our American friend is quite bolshy.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? I think that if I brought any of the bidders over from America, and if Heavy D was there, I think within 10 minutes they would have Heavy D on the ground and they'd be repeatedly punching him in the face. That guy is so, boom! He's so annoying. Over at my table, I'm selling these T-shirts, and I had my artist back in California draw my fantasy, which is a picture of me punching Heavy D in the face. I've never done it, but I have dreamt of doing it.
Could you actually take him back with you?
To America? We don't want him. Trust me, we don't want him. We have enough idiots.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you
love
bet.
the fact he's trying to deport him already.
Yeah.
And are you kind of surprised by the fact that kind of people like Heavy D not exist because there's weird people everywhere, but are you kind of surprised at how they become that famous as well? Because I don't think anybody ever expected Heavy D to be on, say, Celebrity Big Brother, for example.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
kind of surprised by that?
Heavy D wasn't supposed to be on Storage Hunters. I did my very first auction in Barking, and we'd picked like 6 or 7 people that we were going to follow at every auction and kind of tell their story like we did with the American one, right? So it was like John and Nat, and it was Linda, and this guy Dan, and this guy Scotty, and and the two guys from Reading, Darren and Barry, and then there was a guy from Scotland that I was calling Glasgow, Gary. So those are the people we had picked as we're like, okay, because we made sure that they were actual traders. And then we just advertised a public auction out in Barking, and all of a sudden, like 40 people that, we didn't know just showed up to come to the auction, and Heavy D was one of them. And our very first storage unit, we're doing the bidding, and he starts going, boom, boom. And I just thought to myself, what an idiot. I love this guy. So I turned to the producers, and I go, you got to put a microphone on him. And they're like, no, he's not part of the show. I go, I think he is now, And so we mic'd him up. And then once he became this big, crazy monster, I realized, I created that. But the thing is about Heavy D is that half the audience hates him, half the audience likes him. But the truth of the matter is that he is actually a pretty lovely guy. I mean, my wife and I both like him. He's a nice guy. He's just crazy.
He gets the wrong end of the celebrity stick then, really.
Yeah. But he can be annoying, but he can also be nice.
Well, they say Stanley created the Incredible Hulk. You created Heavy D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't believe I'm getting credit for that, but all right. Yeah. You had a question, man?
Yeah, my name's Taha, and what sports do you do?
Hey, what's your name again?
Taha.
Taha?
Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you, Taha. What kind of sports do I do?
Yeah.
Not much. I used to be a skier. In 1986, I won all Europe in giant slalom. I was on the German ski team, so that was kind of my big sport. I used to race downhill, but since then, I really don't do a whole lot of sport.
Thank you.
And you mentioned
I can't hear you. What are you saying?
He said thank you.
Huh? Oh, my wife says yoga. Yeah, does that qualify as a sport? Yoga? I do yoga. I've lost 4 stone this year by going on to Atkins. I cut out all the no carbs, no sugar, and I started doing yoga every day. And I've lost 4 stone. Because the doctor told me I needed to have back surgery back in January.
Right.
And I was like, no, is there anything else I could do? And he goes, you could lose 4 stone. He goes, but most people wouldn't do it. And I said, well, I'm going to do it, and I have.
Because that's very interesting, because I know from meeting you in the past, because you have said you're always somebody that takes a challenge
Yeah.
and makes something of that challenge.
Yeah.
And there's an element of perfectionism in that. Is that something that you've taken throughout the rest of your life, and do you think that's helped you then in many ways? Because it seems to have helped you with Storage Hunters.
Yeah.
Because you pushed through all of the hardships you had
Yeah.
to get the idea, and now you've had it to make yourself healthy again and
Yep.
with that back issue.
Yep. It's basically, I believe that if you can see it in your mind, and if you can believe it, you can make it happen, but you have to stick with it. So is there anybody in here today that's under the age of 20? Show of hands. Okay, how many people are still in school? All right, good. Listen, for you guys, right? I've been living on my own since I was 16 years old, and I didn't go to uni. I had a pretty hard go of it. When I finished what you guys call college, which is our high school, I was working as a forklift driver. I drove a forklift in a warehouse. I had a full-time job at night. I paid rent. I had my own flat at 16 years old. And I've come a long ways, right? Doing TV shows and all this stuff. And it's because I believed in my mind that I could do it. And if you believe you can do it, it doesn't matter what it is. If you believe you can do it, and if you're willing to work really hard, and even if everybody else tells you you can't do it, or that you're crazy, or that you're not qualified, as long as you believe it and you work really hard, you can do it. So I would just know that. Just know you can, yes. Yeah.
We've got time for a couple more questions if you'd like to use your microphone.
Go ahead, man. But you might want to go to the microphone so everybody can hear you.
I believe he's wearing a very familiar necklace.
I've made this necklace famous.
That's the
Yeah. Or the necklace made me famous. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, man, what's your name?
Farid. And then
Say again?
Farid. Yeah. And then when I watched your episodes,
Yeah.
there was an episode where in one of the storages you sold it to the person and it had really good things in it, like motorbikes, and then you had to get it back because it belonged to the police. And then what happens after that?
Say that again?
Was it he sold it and he had to get it back because it belonged to the police, did you
Yeah.
say? So it was an episode of Storage Hunters where you sold something and then you had to get it back because it was something to do, belonged to the police or had an issue with the police with it.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that episode, but sometimes, because like for example, one time in California, on an episode of Storage Hunters, Team Money bought a storage unit, and then when we were going through it, we found what looked like a bunch of automatic weapons, some AR-15 machine guns, right? And I don't have a license to sell automatic weapons. You have to have a license for that. So I had to tell him that I had to like check the serial numbers. We had to like verify everything. It turns out that they weren't real automatic weapons. They were like air guns, you know? So I remember that, but I don't remember the episode that you're talking about.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't help you.
And we've got a final question from this young lady.
Yes.
Hi, I was just wondering, like with the celebrity ones, you said you got on with like Johnny Vegas. I was
Yeah.
wondering who you didn't like, just out of interest.
Well, with the celebrity one, we had 41 celebs come on, right? And there were loads of comedians, and it's really hard not to like the comedians. You know, they're so funny. Like, I don't know if you guys know, like you know what Chris Ramsey is? Like loads of like really funny comics, and they were just really likable. There was nobody that I didn't get along with. There was only one lady who tried to bully me for like a few minutes. Her name's Janet Street Porter. Do you know who she is? She tried to bully me a little bit. She was like shouting at me, and I just thought, oh, lady, you don't know who I am. She had a vase in her hand. I took the vase out of her hand, and I smashed it against the wall into like 1,000 pieces, and then I screamed at her. And then she had this look of shock on her face. And then when they shut the cameras off, she's like, oh, we should become friends. We should hang out. So she was the only one that like tried to give me a hard time. But I really got along well with everybody. It was really a cool experience. I hope you guys enjoy it because it was a lot of fun making them.
Like we've literally just seen a half of one of the episodes.
Oh, lean into the microphone a little better.
Sorry, we've seen like half of one of the episodes, and it was one with like Charlotte Crosby and Holly Hagen on. We were just like, whoa. I was just wondering how you dealt with them, I guess.
Oh, Charlotte and Holly from Geordie Shore. Those girls are hilarious. They were giving Johnny Vegas such a hard time. And the stuff that Johnny Vegas was saying to them when the cameras weren't on had me laughing so hard I was crying. He was like, oh, he was brutal. It was so funny. He was saying stuff like I couldn't believe he was saying it. So, but it was all in good jest, you know. But it was funny. Is there a fire or what is going on? Do you see that?
Yep.
Is that a...
It's a smoke machine.
I'm hoping it's a smoke machine and it's not a fire.
Yeah, that
Is there a smoke? Does it smell like a fire or a smoke machine? Huh? Oh, smoke machine. Okay. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a massive round of applause.
Thank you, everybody.
Sean Kelly.
Hey, and you guys, thank you very much for watching Storage Hunters. I really do appreciate it. Take care.
And don't forget, Storage Hunters Celebrities is on Tuesday nights on Dave.